morning, Bowie and the laughing noon, the time 5:47, the time and Malcolm Doby joined me, writer, editor, and Anglican priest. Good morning.
Good morning.
You love the classical music, you get to hear him when you do Portugal, don't you?
Absolutely. As I say, last week it was Sheffield, Thursday you came on, and now it's the laughing note.
Yeah, and you pointed, and what? What do you want to say about it? You've been thinking about asking a retailing question about that, I have.
Yes, and I've noticed recently an addition that people say, which is a tool.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got a bag at all? Have you got a loyalty card at all? You don't need it.
I don't know when's it came into. I don't know if you're aware of it. It's really help at all. And we don't think what for you at all. You do think what for you at all. What else is it? You don't think what for yourself?
Yes.
What do you do for yourself today? Don't know you. I don't know what happened. I think it's to do with generally hyping things up. Everything has to be a bit bigger than it used to be.
Or you try harder.
Maybe something like that. So we've got a good subject this week, haven't we, in terms of guilty pleasure?
We have. My guilty pleasure is a traditional English breakfast, the full Monty. Though it's got grilled tomatoes rather than baked beans, and toast instead of fried bread. Even my hardened arteries draw on fried bread. But just recently I managed to find a nifty way to assuage my guilt. Our son was visiting from Berlin, where he lives, and I thought that a fatherly way to give him a treat was to cook him breakfast. I assembled all the ingredients, including, in this case, black pudding and kidneys. He does love a kidney. This ruse, it seemed to me, was a handy way to pretend that I wasn't ramping up my cholesterol levels for my own pleasure, but for someone else's, and that made it more acceptable. The thing is, the guilt is minimal, if it exists at all. There's nothing wrong with the odd bit of indulgence, a bit of what we fancy and all that. This feeling of naughtiness we get when we fall for another slice of cake or an impulse buy is just part of a social game we play. It only goes wrong if we burden ourselves with guilt and feelings of inadequacy. I have to say, as a priest in the Church of England, that our own services have had a part to play in making us feel worse than we really are. The 1662 Book of Common Prayer, splendid as it is, asks us to acknowledge and bewail our manifold sins and wickedness. There's no health in us miserable offenders, we repeat. Give us a break. Now, I fully accept that as humans we have a propensity to foul things up. That, as the prayer book says, we've erred and strayed like lost sheep, and that we've followed too much the devices and desires of our own hearts. Well, I have. I've deliberately said unkind things to or about people and hurt them. There are occasions when I've been greedy, selfish, and proud. It happens. When it does, I need to be forgiven. By God, by others, and by myself. There's also a rather wonderful line in the prayer, which talks of God whose property is always to have mercy. So we don't have to be burdened by guilt, and certainly not over breakfast.
Hear, hear. And how nice of you to do that. That was really fantastic. I was in rapture. You get to the point where you're so fascinated by what you're saying that you forget you're on the radio completely. You're just listening properly as if you're really... Oh, you were great. Thank you very much, Malcolm. And to conclude Pause for Thought with Malcolm Domy, writer, editor and Anglican priest, we have Jeff Lynne and Mercy Massey. Keep it moving.
Have mercy, baby. Have mercy, on me. Well, I went to see the kid to have my fortune read. She said, man, your baby wanna leave you. Backed up on the doorbell. Have mercy, baby. Have mercy on me. I said, if you leave me, baby, girl, if you put me down, I'm going to the nearest riverside and jump overboard and drown. Don't leave me. Have mercy, baby. never let me. I bring my money home to you. I said, have mercy. Have mercy, baby. Have mercy. Have mercy on me. Have mercy. Have mercy on me. Have mercy. Have mercy on me.
On BBC.
It's difficult to pinpoint why Holly Manager does usually the best ones.
I'm Nile Rodgers, and this is the untold history of pop and rock from the mouths of the men and women who pull the strings.
If the band fails, it's the manager. If the band makes it, it's the artist.
How raw talent was discovered and encouraged, but frequently exploited.
I've never exploited anybody for their own benefit because they wanted to exploit it.
You just sit there in this totally glass house toilet overlooking the whole of
It arrived. Music Moguls, the masters of pop, this Friday night at 10 on BBC. Megalopolis, patronymic,
Impedimenta.
Fiddle Faddle, the latest word of the day on BBC Radio 2.
So we kicked off a bit spookily on Word of the Day this week. Revenant was the word. Revenant. Revenant. Leonardo DiCaprio won Best Actor for Golden Globes for his part in a film called The Revenant. What does it mean? It means a person who's returned from the dead, from the French revenir, to come back. Yesterday we had a humorous word, a fanciful formation from the mid-18th century. The word spifflicate, S-P-I-F-F for Freddie, L-I-C-A-T-E, spifflicate. It's a humorous way of saying treat roughly. So you might say the mosquito was spifflicated, utterly annihilated, destroyed, but you wouldn't be being violent and nasty. You'd be being comical and humorous. And today's word, phantasm. Yeah, love that word. P-H-A-N-T-A-S-M. Phantasm. What is a phantasm? It's an apparition, an illusion, or even a ghost. A phantasm. And you can use it in this kind of way. You could say, every phantasm of hope was quickly nullified. It's the illusion, there might be some hope, was quickly mixed when you realised that the situation was hopeless. So a phantasm, an apparition, an illusion, or a ghost. Ooh, final word of the week, tomorrow. And it really is an absolutely delightful, glorious carbuncle word. So then we're going to go for a fabulous, scintillating sentence on the Friday Felt Philological Challenge. Is the carrot.
I know I can't turn to you. You understand me. I know you can. Get along. If I'm right or wrong, I know it's you. Oh, yeah.
Alright, Friday, Artie, sir. Hope you're out there again here. I'm going to track UA1. What?
You said you stand by me. Stay with me through the end. We're something special. And which is true. Why I wanna keep on loving you. You're not in line. Keep on praying right. You're a shining star in the darkest night. I put my trust in you. That's for the world to see. We still believe in love on true. That's why I'm gonna keep on loving you. Heaven knows why. Love is blind. That makes me wonder, there even time. One thing for sure, you know it's true.
4ET, gotcha. Here in Tennessee. That was not many years ago, a long time ago. Well, I was very big. He's on a full-time military for NASA. He was pretty base that time. How much the docks there, Eric?
Good morning. This is the CB7PE repeater.
I'm not sure where that's located at. We're here northeast of
President Obama has strongly defended his time in office in his final State of the Union address. He highlighted economic recovery and social reforms, but Mr. Obama expressed regret that politics in the United States has become more divided. Although America has this assessment.
This will be a speech remembered not for its policy prescriptions, with just a year to go, nor the done, but for its upbeat assessment of how much better America is today than when Barack Obama came to office. It is partly about a president burnishing his own record. The one eye-catching policy announcement was a new national effort led by the Vice President to cure cancer. Mr. Obama rejected suggestions that America was getting weaker, insisting the US was the most powerful nation on earth. And he promised that so-called Islamic State would be rooted out, hunted down, and destroyed.
A 24-hour strike by junior doctors in England over their pay and working hours will end at 8 o'clock. Another stoppage is planned in 2 weeks, and attempts are now being made to get both sides back to the negotiating table. Henry Marsh, who's a neurosurgeon at St George's Hospital in South London, says the strike highlights what he called long pent-up frustration among junior doctors.
This country has fewer doctors per capita than any other country in Europe, bar 3 is 2.7 per thousand. Greece has 6, Austria has 5, Germany is almost 4. And it strikes me as extraordinarily cack-handed of the government to get into an industrial dispute with doctors when there is, compared to other similar European countries, such a lack of them.
Asylum seekers in Denmark could have their valuables seized under plans to be debated in Parliament in Copenhagen today. The proposed law would permit the confiscation of cash and jewellery, although not wedding rings, to pay for asylum centres. A vote will be held later this month. Police in Sweden have denied trying to cover up allegations of sexual assaults carried out by young migrants at teenage music festivals in Stockholm in the past 2 years. News of the alleged assaults, which have echoes of the recent attacks in Germany, has only just emerged. Bart Gilander is a spokesman for Stockholm Police.
We didn't cover up but we didn't tell. And there are so many things we don't tell, because we have so much information, so much things going on, and hundreds of cases every 24 hours, and this we didn't tell. And that was a mistake, big mistake today. But of course it wasn't a cover-up.
Scientists in the United States say that women who eat potatoes regularly during pregnancy are 50% more at risk of developing diabetes. It's thought the high starch content of potatoes can trigger gestational diabetes. The condition, which does not usually cause long-term health problems, affects almost 1 in 20 women in England and Wales each year. And the weather. It'll be a frosty, dry and bright start, but showers will come in from the west during the day. And that's the BBC News at 3 minutes past 6, or next at 6:30.
Good morning, it is Wednesday. Has your moon got up and departed? If you're feeling a little low in energy, a little low octane this morning, do not fear. We have Wednesday words of warmth from a famous fan and friend of the program to cheer you up.
It's not a bad life, really.
Going around, texture like sun, lays me down with my machines throughout the night. No need to fight, never a frown, slows me down. Every time, just like the last, I'm the shit, take to the last, to distant lands, takes both my hands, never a frown, this goes down. Flying a temptress through the ages, she's heading west from far away. Stays for a day, never a frown, goes around.
The Stranglers and Golden Brown. It's 6 minutes past 6 on Wednesday morning, and I hope that the week is unfolding and unfurling as you hope that it would, and that, you know, you're in reasonable working order and that you're surviving. Listen, that's all we can ask for, and I hope that your mood is at least receptive and fairly jolly. And I send you all my love this morning, and I'm very glad indeed to have your company on the programme. And if you're wondering what has been going on here since the very dawn of time itself, let me fill you in with a potted history of the programme thus far. So I gambled in a frisky manner into the studio this morning. I was in fairly reasonable fettle. What can I tell you about yesterday? Oh yes, I participated in the Radio 4 programme called A Good Read, where you inflict a book that you have chosen on two other people, and they inflict the book of their choice upon you. Good discipline for grown-ups like us, because you know what it's like. It's hard to read a book that you don't necessarily like, that someone else has chosen and inflicted upon you. Quite a lot of discipline needed to plough on through. In this instance, it was 480 pages of a book I abhorred. Really, I detested it, so that was really quite good character building stuff. And then straight after that, the other half and I zoomed off to the Saatchi Gallery to see an exhibition called Champagne Life, an exhibition of 14 female artists. I saw you making with a very, very short red scarlet miniskirt. I saw Jane Asher, not a cake in sight, having a good old look. I saw Bill Oddie and managed not to do the Funky Chicken, although I really, really wanted to. And then I looked at the exhibits. One was a whole load of burnt pots, as in saucepans. Loads and loads of sort of upended, burned saucepans, 233 to be precise, all stuck on the wall, I suppose intended to symbolise the oppressed life that we women lead or something of that ilk. And one exhibit was a bright blue papier-mâché, sort of, I don't know if it was an ox, an ass, no, it was either an ass, a mule, or some kind of horse, obviously in a bit of a terrible state, lying on the floor with its feet bound by rope. And my other half commented, "Drop the dead donkey." And I thought at that moment, "Oh, I do love you. You are so funny. You really do crack me up." So that was good. But then people frowned at us. Plus, I was wearing an unsuitable hat because it was really cold, and I've been going to work backwards and forwards from, be broadcasting a house. I was wearing, one of those knitted hats with a pom-pom on the top, which seemed quite jaunty early in the morning. And then to go into the Saatchi Gallery, I think people have spent all day at the hairdresser, both men and women, and were looking really very, very artistique to the max and all dolled up and very elegant. And I was just plodding in my hat, my woolly hat with a pom-pom on the top. And I noticed the photographers get a bit excited when they saw me. I thought, "Oh, I must be looking rather ravishing." And I realised, oh no, I'm wearing an unsuitable tip, but that is not good. Our question this morning, getting to know you. May I help you? We thought we'd talk about retail, service. Alan in Lancashire, some time ago, I went into a shop. When I got to the pay station, there was a big sign saying, "If you leave the pay desk, no errors will be sorted." I paid. I was given my change. I thought something was wrong, but there was a great big queue. I just stepped back, still in full sight of the pay desk, which had a manager stood behind the girl. When I checked my change, she'd given me too much. So being brung up reeked, I stepped back and I said my change was incorrect. This manager was quite a bully. I said I'd left the station and it was my fault. Go forth, etc. I simply said, "Oh, you've given me too much change." Wow, the change on his face. He said, "Well, give it back." My reply was, "I've left the pay station. Errors can't be sorted." "Thank you. Funny. I've never been back to that store," says Alan. Gordon said, "I was once in Harrods shopping for Christmas. I was in home furnishings. I found a cushion I loved, but I'm not very good with colour. So I picked it up, turned around and asked a passing assistant, 'Excuse me, can you tell me what colour this is, please?' The lovely woman said, 'Sorry, it's not my department.'" Oh, morning, V. I used to work at M&S in Newton Mearns, Glasgow, and this is a true exchange between colleague and customer. Colleague, "Good morning, how are you?" Customer, "Do you know me?" Colleague, "No." Customer, "Well, don't speak to me then." Oh, Gail in Ayrshire. This is Matt Hall in Weston-super-Mare. Just prior to Christmas, I needed to take my monthly visit to our local frozen food establishment to ensure I had enough buttons, sprouts, and great value 3 bags of chicken for £10. Got to the checkout, completed the task from trolley to bag. I was then really surprised to be asked for my postcode and contact number. Didn't think anything more of it, handed it over. Later that evening, I got home and received a phone call from Samantha at said supermarket. "We have now been dating for 2 weeks." Yay! Fantastic! Just one more. I haven't really got time. I'm going way over, but these are so great. Jamie Jackson says, "Long time ago, I was cutting through the beauty department in a large fancy store. I became aware of a woman waving to me from behind a counter and trying to catch my eye. 'Madam,' she said, 'I want to talk to you about your pimples.'" Oh, exit stage left. Let's see what Pete Waterman has to say about that.
Are you joking?
No, we're totally serious.
I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one call away. Call me, baby, if you need a friend. I just wanna give you love. Reaching out to you, so take a chance. No matter where you go, no, you're not alone. I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one call away. Come along with me and don't be scared. I just wanna set you free. Come on, come on, come on. You and me can make it anywhere. For now, we can stay for a while. Cause you know, I just wanna see you smile. No matter where you go, no, you're not alone. I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one call away. And when you're weak, I'm strong. I'm gonna keep holding on. to save the day. Superman got nothing back day. I'm only one. I'm only one. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing back day. I'm only one call away. I'm only one call away.
Wednesday Words of Warmth. We've reached that midweek point. You know what it's like. Your energy plummets. You go for a bit of a slump. You know, you're not feeling quite what you were on a Monday morning, and that is why we always welcome a celebrity fan and friend of the show to give us a few encouraging words to help us over that Wednesday slump. And today's words of encouragement come from American singer-songwriter Ricky Lee Jones, the 70s bohemian legend behind the huge hit Chuck Is in Love. You know, Chuck Is in Love, that's Ricky Lee Jones. The huge success of that 1979 track and her debut album earned her a Grammy Award, and she was dubbed the female Tom Waits, and she even dated him for a while. Cool. Ricky Lee is currently over in the UK preparing for a performance at Celtic Connections in Glasgow, and kindly spared us some time during her rehearsals to give us her Wednesday Words of Warmth.
Hi, Vanessa. It's Ricky Lee. So you want to know what I do to get over the midweek blues? You know what I do? I garden. I go outside. I pull the weed. I water a dry thing. I sweep up some leaves. And then I forget about everything else but what I'm doing. And then I feel better. And it's Friday.
Totally good advice. You know, we know gardeners are happier than other people. You can see Ricky Lee in concert as part of the Celtic Connections Festival in Glasgow next Monday. That's Monday, January the 18th. And here she is with Chuck Is in Love.
Alright, if there's anyone there, I'm going to switch the video off until I'm ready to get back on the road again. I ain't got a clue how long I'm going to be here for, so... But save me bandwidth.
These are the women whose voices I love. They're my angels. Take me to
Mel Bryden presents a showcase of the finest female vocalists ever.
Each week I look at a different genre of music made by these wonderful women.